Today I've crawled out of whatever hellhole I've been in for the past week to deliver you a rally sword. Actually my first video after the mini, I think, just because I just happened to fall sick at the best time. So yeah, of course we'll be doing sword first, and we will be using the new slaughtering samurai, which is why this is rally sword. This is the list I've been running. There are probably more optimal lists out there. You can probably find those if you want, but this is the one that I've been playing with and sort of feels okay to me. So it's mostly just standard rally sword. Obviously you have the samurai, which is the new card. We're here to use it. Kyrie and Asuka and Shori are just cheap card draw, especially useful going second, but hopefully going second you find Pawn Maker, but you don't always find Pawn Maker, so they're just there. And then you have Radial. Radial is, you can choose not to run him. He's a brick most of the time, but sometimes, Radial's the kind of card that saves you one game and you can never take him out of your deck again. So that's what Radial is doing here. And that you have a lot of cheap Storms and Seeker of Love, the Vanguard Lancer, Gawain, and Aggressive Advance. You have a bunch of cheap Storms to make use of both Samurai's buffs and also Monika's buffs, if it ever comes down to that. So yeah, that is the deck Rally Sword. Let's jump into some games. So the first game for today will be the Sword Mirror, and we're going first. Right now, I think it's prudent to just assume you're going against Loot if you are playing against Sword. For the mulligan, we just search for Slaughtering Samurai and Despotic Pawn Maker. That's all I do. I don't know if that's the correct way, but I mean, we're here to play the Samurai, so we're gonna goddamn play that Samurai. And there's the Samurai right on cue. We're gonna pop him down on the board there. Turn 1 Samurai is very valuable here because obviously Samurai is a very scaling heavy card. It scales better the more you play him, so you really want to get him out as early as possible, which is why he's the top priority mulligan for this deck. Technically more than Pawn Maker, but you still keep Pawn Maker if you have Pawn Maker. So yeah, and then we just drop the Pawn Maker here since we can. We have nothing else to do and we already have another Pawn Maker, so it's fine. And they put on Tears of Tribulation here, which means that we can actually just trade off our Samurai and just play another Samurai right now and just trade again. And this trade is pretty valuable as well for us. By putting the Samurai's health at 1, we can allow it to trade into any 1 attack followers my opponent may play here like this. So we're just gonna go ahead and trade. And we just play the Samurai again. And just hope our opponent clears it. I mean, it's a 3-3, right? You don't really want to leave that on board if you're my opponent. And there's their Samurai. But too bad for them, the Samurai is too slow. And then here we're going to go for the classic high roll going first turn 5 move. If you've been playing this deck for a while, you're probably familiar with this turn, which is you play Pawn Maker, you evolve the Pawn Maker, and then you just accelerate the Samurai and just buff that for the world's biggest board. So about this play, I think it's important to remember that the Samurai's job is not just to help you ODK. You don't just save it for a lethal turn. If you know your opponent doesn't have super efficient board clears, especially if they're rally sword for example, you can go ahead and just set a big board and force your opponent to answer it, like this. And then my opponent can't answer the board, so they concede, and this game will go to another one after this. So in the next game of the series of our opponent having no respect for the Samurai, we're going second against Haven here, and of course we pick up the Samurai because we're a good player, so we keep the Samurai. Against Haven, it's most of the time it's heal Haven. You should probably go into the game expecting it to be heal Haven unless you see something that implies otherwise. So we see the Fountain of Tranquility that tells us absolutely nothing. So we're just gonna do our usual game plan and just play the Samurai. When Beauties comes out, we still don't know what kind of Haven it is because every Haven deck runs those 2 cards, I'm pretty sure. So we just play more Samurais and just hit them in the face. And the player earned that tells us it's heal Haven, so now we know it's heal. We're just playing Asuka and Shiori here to draw because we have nothing better to do and we want to draw. The aggressive advance is not... we should probably mention this. Aggressive advance I would usually not recommend you play early unless you absolutely have to. Because, well, for one reason is that, I mean, it's a source of damage for you in the later game, which is very variable. You always want to keep damage sources because if you can't rush down your opponent as rally sword, you will lose the game generally if you can't apply constant pressure. The other reason is something you will see in a moment when it gets towards the later in this game, which I will mention again then. So obviously no point going Pawn Maker here. The goal is to play Mikhail into Shield Guardian, which will maximize the awkwardness of their Illuvia turn here, which I'm expecting of course because they're Heal Haven. So the hope is that by making high stats on board, it will make it very difficult for them to answer, even with Illuvia plus Lu. And then next time I can hopefully answer with Pawn Maker plus Alpha. Plus Alpha meaning of course like whatever the hell else I draw, right? And here they only have Illuvia, which is very good for us. So perhaps there might have been a better play here, but for me I'm going for Rally. So even though I have a bunch of followers that could go face, I'm trading them off here. Just to get the Toxic Pawn Maker and play there. And then here we get the Slaughtering Samurai at 4. Important note here is that it might have been correct to evolve this before trading a Samurai just to leave a board space. I mean technically it puts me at rally 10, so I'm gonna invoke Mikhail anyway, right? So maybe this is better, but this kind of board locks me, which you will see the opponent attempt to do, but lucky for me I've saved aggressive advance, which the other reason why you could save it, which I'll mention here, is that it's a 3-cost spell, which means you don't need board space to play it. And it puts you at 3 PP on turn 6, which lets you accelerate a Samurai. So here my opponent has no respect for the Samurai, so they die. And that's it for this game. Let's go to some real games now. So our next game will be against Portal and we're going second here. Portal is a bit of a wild card right now. There's a lot of different decks that they can be running. So of course our standard, we just look for Samurai and Pawn Maker, and that's our mulligan. So we can hopefully see what type of you see Chaos Conflict, so this is probably Control Portal here. So we will play the game with Control Portal in mind, and that's another Chaos, so yeah, it's definitely Control Portal. Normally I advocate for saving Monica if you draw her early and try not to play her too early, since she's much more useful in the late game, but here we clearly are not getting enough rally to actually use her effect, so I'm just playing her for the rally instead, because it's more important to reach rally 10 than it is to save one copy of Monica. My opponent plays Asuka and Shiori here. I'm just gonna play the Opulent and just hope they can't clear it. I don't really have a better play right now anyway. Let's go face Monica, and they have Doll's Tea Time, so they can clear my Opulent, which we kind of expected. I was hoping they couldn't, but I mean, it's a controlled deck. I don't think they will have that much trouble clearing it. So it's a very nice opportunity for Kirei here. There's no reason to go Pawn Maker, since it won't reach me rally 10 anyway. It will just fill my board with a bunch of 1-1s. So I'm just going for Kirei here to draw while I have the opportunity, and set up some very solid followers behind the ward, which hopefully they cannot clear very well. And that's a Kirei of their own here. And they have Lyle. So we see them fuse the Goddess of Condemnation here. And then they played the Antonita, so like 9 times out of 10 they probably duplicated the Goddess with the Antonita, which is why they played it in that order. Otherwise there will be no reason to fuse the Goddess, right? So we can just take the information with us. And of course, just trade the Samurai. and then just get my rally count up so I can start, you know, playing the game. Go ahead and pop down the samurai here just to get the count up again. And just poke them in the face for 3 for a nice 3 damage. And that's the condemnation. We knew that was coming, so it's not a big deal for us. Importantly here, I think it's important to save the evil point, which is why I don't use it. I go for this play, which is aggressive advance, and then not evolve it and just hit face like this. Notably, this puts me at rally 15, which lets me go Agile Twin Blader, Vanguard Lancer, go away next turn, which of course I was looking at as well. I knew I had this big damage combo in my hand, which is why I could afford to spend the aggressive advance here and just hit them face and not have the evil. If you calculate the amount of damage I have in my hand right now, this is 10 plus 12, 13. If I evolve this, it's 15, 14, 19, so we have 19 damage here. So if they don't respect the deck, which they don't respect the deck here and there, too much respect for the samurai maybe here, so they went for that play, which means that I had exact lethal. So yeah, just lesson for this game, I guess, if there is a lesson, is just count the amount of damage you have in hand, save the damage you need, so that you can figure out how to win the game, because you know, you actually have to plan your lethals when playing rally sword because you don't have that much damage. So that's it for this game, let's move on to the next one. So for the next game, we have another game against Portal and we're going second again. And then we open the samurai, so of course we keep that and toss the rest. So once again, it's a bit of a mixed bag against Portal. You never know what deck they're playing. Could be Machina, could be Enhance, could be Control, could be some other weird thing in between. So do we still have a biker that tells us this is Machina, so we should proceed with that in mind from now on. I mean, I said it, but we're just gonna play Softling Samurai here, because that's always the correct play. If you're not even playing the Softling Samurai, why bother? We're in a bit of an unfortunate position here with this thing. It's a bit too dangerous to let this live, so unfortunately, as much as I hate to do it, we will have to clear it with the samurai. Oh, and this is just the draw. And then if they are not careful with this, next time I can evolve it and go face. So yeah, that's the goal with playing the duelist here. Hand's not super good right now, which is why we can go for Kyrie Evo here instead. And just try and draw good cards. Reason why I play Seeker of Love here is I really need the rally. I want to reach rally 10 by next turn. You can see I have 4 Agile Twin Blades in my hand. I really need to get my rally count up. In terms of rally cards, I have Monica, I have Gawain, I have Julie, and I had Seeker of Love. So if you look at my rally count, without playing Seeker of Love, I would be at 6 right now, which means that Monica into Gawain will not do it, which is why I played the Seeker of Love here to be safe and make sure I can reach rally 10 next turn. I mean, we saw this coming, right? Robotics Reporter here. The Machina Classic, really. So we look, our opponent is at 6 Macadamics right now. This puts it at 7, this is 9, I mean it's 8 and 9, right? So we can't afford to clear these right now. And we're trying to reach rally 10 here. No reason to waste the Vanguard Lancer now, I'm pretty sure, so I'm just gonna hold on to it. Yep. Just pass. The hope was that if they didn't have a 1 PV, 1 defense follower, they wouldn't be able to reach Machina 10 next turn either, but unfortunately they do have a 1 defense follower, so they will reach 10 Machina followers destroyed now, so now we are racing against them. Fortunately though, we top deck Seeker of Love here, which is lethal. Important combo to always remember is this Seeker of Love combo. You always want to remember. Oh shit, I don't think it is lethal, but it comes close. Is it lethal? So 5, 7, 7 plus 12. Yeah, it's exactly lethal. Important combo, these cards always work together. So yeah, just keep that in mind, and let's hop on to the last game for today. So let's hop on to our last game for the day. It'll be against Dragon, and we're going first. Against Dragon, there's realistically 2 decks that can play this buff, and there's this card. There's also this weird degenerate control dragon thing that exists as well, so you want to keep that in mind, but yeah. So unfortunately no Samurai early game, so we're just gonna play the Seeker of Love here. Obviously, even though she's a late game damage card that you want to keep early game, she's also pretty solid just to put down on board, just to have some presence. Here I would choose to play Dashing Duelist over the Gawain. Gawain would let me push 1 damage here, but Dashing Duelist is just card draw, right? And we want to draw as many cards as we can, cause we're playing rarely and we don't really have much card draw in our deck. Here, we're playing it safe with Juliet. There is an argument for going Opulent there. Honestly, they might not be able to clear it, but I went for Juliet here just to play it safe, you know. You really want to keep Opulent for board clear against Buff Dragon, which we know they are now, so yeah. Let me just go ahead and play a Samurai just to, you know, do Samurai things. Right now, as you can see, our hand not looking too good, so hopefully Kiri can draw something banger. They chose not to trade into the Samurai apparently, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure why. So I think we trade. I don't actually. So the Gawain here is just for draw, of course. And then just put up some wards while we go hit their face. Wards have a unique effect against. These like 1/1 wards have a very fun and unique effect against Buff Dragon, where their followers are so fat that these ends up being just a wall that they have to commit board space to kill, because you know their followers are too big and they can't trade evenly into them. So we draw Pawn Maker here, it's very nice, so we can go ahead and use Pawn. Actually, we already have Pawn Maker, I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we draw Pawn Maker here, which is really nice. Oh, I didn't mention, but yeah, they did erase our good friend, the Samurai, but it's fine. Hopefully they don't have another one for Monica, which is why I'm playing Monica. I mean, we did just see one of those go down, so hopefully they don't have another one to erase my Monica. So with the mermaid, very big ward that's very hard to get through, it's a bit annoying. Nice Kiri, another not as big but as reasonably big ward that's difficult to go through. Anyway, they do have the other Coral Spirit to get rid of my Monica, which is very painful for us, but luckily that thing doesn't have ward. So the goal here was just to go as much damage to their face as I can. That's why I'm just gonna get rid of their board here. And then advance here just to get rid of the board and go face. We do have 2 Twin Bladers next turn, so hopefully that can finish the game for us if they're not careful with their plays. So there's the Grand Slam, which we are fine with because it's not a ward. We're just worried about them putting wards at this point. Nothing else is actually a big deal. Okay, there's Dion and another Blooming Dancer, so no ward, so we win the game. Very nice. Yeah, that's it for a loot sword. Buff dragon, not as strong now that it's been nerfed. The nerf is surprisingly effective. Maybe it doesn't look that way, but it's surprisingly effective. So yeah, that's it for this game. So that's it for today's video. We went through a few games, we looked at a bit of loot sword. I mean, sorry, not loot sword, rally sword. And I know that, I would say there's not really that many meta decks, but when I was playing these games, there was no like fixed meta yet. So we just mostly saw a bunch of different decks, and we see rally sword and the samurai in action. Hopefully you got to see samurai do some cool stuff. I'm gonna be honest, it's not that good of a card. So yeah, don't expect it to super pop off or anything. It might in the future though if they support it. Anyway, Rally Sword as usual is pretty middle of the pack deck right now. If you want to win with Sword, you just play Loot instead. But Rally's pretty fun, so if you like the gameplay, you like the playstyle, feel free to pick up the deck and try it yourself. It does have a lot of legendaries and golds though, so you might want to watch out for that. But other than that, yep, that's it for today. I will probably not be back to my usuals. I don't really have a schedule, I guess, but I won't be back to my usual levels yet because I am still a bit sick. Maybe you could hear that from my voice and the fact that I randomly cough and clear my throat. But there you go. So anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget about my existence while I'm inactive due to being sick, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.